Hello. The title of this podcast is Grateful for the Work I've Done. This is something that I came to feel. I always feel this way, but the feeling came back to me just yesterday. A good friend of mine that I work with, we were collaborating on a partnership to help some colleagues who we work with really develop skills that are rooted in wellness-centered communication as well as how to deal with conflict in the workplace. And we had a conversation that involved a resetting for everyone on the team, that involved a group apology that not everyone had to give. We just, I declared a blanket apology for everyone else. And my colleague who I was partnering with, opened it up for others to to if they still had things they wanted to get off their chest or they were bothered by, then they can certainly do that moving forward. Our thinking was to really develop a plan or a structure in which this would be practiced to let go of those old behaviors that don't support inner peace, that continue to rehash things from the past or things that you can't control, that really just bring toxicity to the work environment amongst teams. And so you have these highly skilled teams that aren't high functioning teams as a result of individuals not working on themselves so that everyone could grow collectively. And we were doing great and we framed it as practice. And just a few days later, people were struggling. They had things that they wanted to talk through, and we did that. But there were a few people that haven't been on the same path as my colleague and I of working on ourselves the last several years. And they didn't like what we were doing. They thought that, they shouldn't have anyone from the outside like me come in and partner with them. They should be able to handle it all in-house, which they haven't been able to do it until this point. Not that I could have been a difference maker, but one thing I'm sure of is that if you bring kindness and open heart, you give people grace. That's a great place to start with, and you couple that with compassion. I like the recipe of that, and especially if people are open to growing and doing it a different way, but they want to do it the old way. And so my good friend got called into a meeting in which her leaders said, "That's not the way that we want to go. We can do this on our own in-house. We don't want anyone outside of our team working on this." And I'm just thinking, like, that's one way to do it. And the part of that I'm grateful for is I'm grateful for the work that I've done. To not be attached to having to be involved or having it be a certain way, but really accepting that people can go about doing it however they want to do it. If they want to make this punitive, that's one way to do it. If you want to make it a situation to where people, you know, there are rules and there are standards that we're trying to live up to, and in doing so, the way to get there is to practice and give each other grace along the way. Some of these behaviors that are not productive in the workplace in terms of how people behave, they don't happen overnight. They have been developed and practiced over a long period of time. So to think that you can just automatically flip the switch and those aren't the behaviors, I haven't found that to be realistic. But what I have found to help is a lot of practice. And if you can practice in a way to where it's a safe space to do so, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So going back to what I said in the very beginning is I'm grateful for my practice because when my friend called me after her meeting and she was, feeling bad for me having gotten me involved and it turning out this way. I said, no, do not feel bad. Like I'm not attached. I got plenty to do. I wish your team well. And if your leaders want to go in a different direction, so be it. It's all good. I wish you well, and I'm glad that you have a practice. Now go off, enjoy your trip away for the next few weeks, and don't give this another thought because I certainly won't. Beyond being grateful for all the work that I've done. Because if I had not done this work, I'm sure I'd be ruminating over this. I would be trying to be right about that they should do it this way and just look at what will happen. Just sit back and watch what will happen, and they're going to fail. They're going to have all. I'm not doing any of that. I'm hoping nothing but success, and that highly skilled team goes from just being skilled to being a wellness-centered, high-functioning team. And that's possible. So that's what I'm wishing for them. Again, I'm grateful for the work that I've done, and I hope you're grateful for the work that you've done. And my work minimizes suffering for me and for others.